Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. May I have your attention, please? May I have your attention, please? May I have your attention, please, as we begin the celebration of the 2022 commencement exercises at Cambridge College. Families and friends, at this time, please welcome the faculty of Cambridge College, led by Faculty Marshal Dr. Barbara Kofsky-Reed, as they salute the graduating class of 2022. You're in the right position.
Okay, good. You didn't happen to see my name anywhere, did you? I just asked you to give me one. Oh. That's easy. It's just, I've got a sprained ankle, and I was like, I just don't want to have to make it from all the way back up to the front, so.
Your cartwheels down the aisle like the Blues Brothers. At this time, will the faculty please turn and salute? Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, please welcome the graduating class of 2022, led by Cambridge College alumni representatives. At this time, will the faculty please turn and proceed to the stage and remain seating at their seats. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, please welcome the college administrators, the Board of Trustees, special guests, and the President of Cambridge College. Ladies and gentlemen, I am pleased and deeply honored to welcome all of you to the 2022 commencement exercises at Cambridge College. You may be seated. Good afternoon. My name is James Lee, Dean of the School of Undergraduate Studies, and I am delighted. All right, I got some people out here. I am delighted to share this very important day with you. Ushers, at this time, please allow our additional guests to quickly and quietly take their seats. Ladies and gentlemen and graduates, before we begin, please be reminded this is a very special occasion, and may I please remind you to remain seated until the ceremonies are completely over. In that spirit, I ask that our graduates please return to your seats after receiving your degrees so that you are present to celebrate your colleagues who are also receiving their degrees today. As we recognize this special time together, we are also reminded of the members of our college community that we have lost in this past year. At this time, let us please observe a moment of silence for those that we are dearly missing on this significant day. Thank you. At this time, I would like to introduce Mr. John P. Brown, who will offer the invocation. Mr. Brown is a practitioner in residence in religion, business ethics, and the economic order at Harvard Divinity School. Please help me welcome Mr. Brown to the podium.
May we pray. We have come to this moment from all walks of life, from near and far, with our divergent thoughts, ideas, longings, experiences, languages, and traditions. But we are united in this moment by the magnitude of our love, joy, pride, and thanksgiving. Thanksgiving for these graduates and all that they have accomplished. Gratitude for their inner strength, persistence, and perseverance. We give thanks for the entire Cambridge College family, its leadership and trustees, as well as its unnamed staff, the groundskeeping and custodial workers, whose toil provides a safe and nurturing environment for professors and administrators to teach and work. Its IT staff who oversee our connectivity with the world at large and with each other, and its donors who provide much-needed investments in this college's present and future. And so, it is in humility that we come asking the favor of a blessing, not just on the proceedings which follow, but on the lives of each graduate and honoree, for whom we gather to celebrate. May your spirit and love, which passeth all understanding, find and touch their hearts on this day and forevermore. Amen.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. At this time, I ask that you please stand and remove your caps for our national anthem, sung by Miss Athene Wilson.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Thank you, Miss Wilson. She does it every time. Every time. Ladies and gentlemen, at this moment, I am pleased and deeply honored to present to you Cambridge College's, our president, Deborah C. Jackson.
Thank you so much, Athene, for the most beautiful rendition we hear whenever we're here together, and thank you, Dean Lee. Good afternoon to all of you. This is a sight to behold. I have the best view in the house right now, looking at all of you. Class of 2022, we didn't think we would ever see this day together in person to celebrate all that you have accomplished. We've got to start by giving you a round of applause. In the words of Maya Angelou, this is a beautiful day. Why? Because I have never seen this one before. And over the past 2 years, we feared that we would not be able to get together in community, in person, for this celebration, for the celebration of our students' accomplishments. But here we are, and class of 2022, here you are. You persisted through 2 years of quarantine, separation, sometimes isolation, while supporting children and families, working, perhaps experiencing personal loss along the way. You did this so well. It brought you to this moment. You persisted because you were facing a lifelong dream, and that goal has now been accomplished. So here you are at the finish line, a goal achieved, a dream attained, and frankly, just minutes away from crossing the finish line. These were unimaginable years, and it leads us to believe, looking at all that you've been able to do despite the challenges, that you are simply invincible, too strong to let anything defeat you. That deserves some applause. But we also know that you did not make this journey alone. Sharing this day with you are the family and friends who loved you, supported you, and at times lovingly carried you on their shoulders along the way. So I want us to applaud the village that surrounded each of you. That village extends to the members of the Cambridge College team, your faculty who are here on stage, your advisors, your counselors who inspired you and believed in you and encouraged you, and at times, it might have been just a word from one of them, admonishing you that, oh no, you are not going to stop. You under no circumstances are you going to give up. And I want to thank them for their professional devotion to your success and their personal commitment to each and every one of you. Thank you. I want to thank our Board of Trustees, led by Chairwoman Susan Eiffel, for their leadership and service throughout the year. Our board is the foundation of the institution, its focus on our mission, and their unrelenting support for everything that we do at Cambridge College. I want to recognize today's honored guest, today's commencement speaker, General Darren McDew, our honorary degree recipients, the Honorable Rachel Rollins and Ms. Gladys Vega, each of whom has made immense contributions to our community and indeed to our country. I thank them for joining us today and allowing us to honor them, and you will be hearing more about them in today's program. In the opening lines of Amanda Gorman's poem, The Hill We Climb, she grabs our attention by asking us, when day comes, we ask ourselves, where can we find light in this never-ending shade? Amanda Gorman, the sixth and youngest poet to deliver the poetry reading at a presidential inauguration, spoke these words on January 20th, 2021, at the inauguration of President Joe Biden. These words were spoken in the midst of the pandemic that would devastate our country, and in a month that has seen the highest number of fatalities because of that pandemic. These words were spoken just weeks after the attack on our Capitol that profoundly challenged the most fundamental premise of our democracy, the smooth and orderly transition of power. And it shined a stark, harsh, and glaring light on the heartbreaking divide in our country. Amanda seemed to read our thoughts. She peered into our hearts in verbalizing that. We were all feeling that way at some point. Where can we find light in this never-ending shade? So fast forward 1 year later, just weeks after another tragedy that took the lives of 19 precious young children and 2 brave teachers, just months after a senseless war that is raging against the people of Ukraine, and we must be asking ourselves again, where can we find light in this never-ending shade? And we know for many of us, there might not be an answer, but for some of us, and for me, this question does have an answer. I find an answer in the words of Dr. King, that the arc of the universe bends towards justice, but we have to help it. I find the answer in the words of Gandhi, that we can be the change we want to see in the world, and I say we must be that change. And I find the answer in the simple lyrics of one of my favorite musicals, Annie. The sun will come out tomorrow. Bet your bottom dollar that tomorrow there will be sun. But for all of us who are gathered here with you right now, I will tell you the most powerful answer to Amanda's question today is sitting here in front of us, our graduates, because for each and every one of us, you are the light in this never-ending shade. You are the evidence of what can be accomplished when you have a dream and you doggedly pursue it. You are the manifestation of a belief that it does not matter where you begin, it matters where you finish. We see in you a collective of experienced learners who understand that for anything that matters, you must commit yourself to doing the work and striving for excellence. We see in you the beauty of a community that values diversity of thought, perspectives, race, ethnicity, gender, and sexual identity and orientation. We see in you the promise of amazing teachers who will change the lives of young people and, yes, protect them in any way that they can. And we see in you ethical business leaders and advocates who will stun the world with your compassion and kindness, not because you've been told you have to, but because you know, as experienced learners, that there is no way to make it in this world unless we do it together. Your presence has enriched our campus, you've enriched our classrooms, and you've enriched the lives of one another. So my charge to you today as I leave this podium and make way for you to cross this stage is that you never lose sight of the power of your light, that you understand that you have the power to change the world for even one person trying to find their way out of the darkness. You have a light that can change our society, make it more just, and change our environment and make it more sustainable. You came to college with an abundance of life experiences. That informed your dreams for the future. So you brought those assets to your journey. But in the words of Ralph Waldo Emerson, as you leave, I want you to hold on to this thought, and that is what lies behind you and what lies ahead of you pales in comparison to what lies inside of you. So when Amanda asks us this question, when day comes, where can we find light in what for many may seem never-ending shade? I say to you, class of 22, we find our light in you. Go out and shine your light in the world and never forget how much power there is in your light. Godspeed, we love you. Leave us knowing that you are always Cambridge College proud. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you, President Jackson. It is now my honor to introduce our student speakers. Ladies and gentlemen, our first student speaker, Ms. Mirta Santander, is graduating today. She's graduating today with a Bachelor of Arts from the School of Undergraduate Studies. Please help me welcome Ms. Santander to the podium to offer her graduate reflections.
Members of the Board of Trustees, President Deborah Jackson, faculty, family, staff, guests, and fellow graduates, good afternoon. It is a joy for me to be here today to celebrate this milestone. I'm incredibly proud to be graduating from Cambridge College today because graduating from college is a culmination of years of hard work. For some people, it takes 4 years. For others, it takes longer. In my case, it took me 12 years since the first time I signed up for classes in Asunción, Paraguay. Like many women in Paraguay, I faced obstacles put in my path by the machismo culture. Many of you might be aware that this social behavior pattern exhibits an overbearing attitude towards anyone in a position they perceive as inferior to theirs. These types of obstacles are a reality for various types or groups of people having to overcome barriers like racial barriers, gender barriers, and economic barriers to be here today. As a class, we face numerous obstacles and uncertainties, thinking about climate change, a global pandemic, and the violence and devastation that a war conflict brings, just to name a few. It is difficult to look at the world around us and not feel despair. But despite many challenges in our lives, we have persevered and graduated this year. So please enjoy this moment. You deserve this celebration. Resuming my education in a different country was not the easiest endeavor. And for that journey, our alma mater was the place to be. I met a diverse community of learners from all walks of life, and we learned together. I found professors who encourage every student and every point of view to be heard. In a school community that supported my learning in a language that I feel I have finally mastered. The message today for all of us is this: the only person who can make a change is you. There is immense power within this generation that is ready for change, and we need to regain focus on what and who matters. In this globalized and interconnected world, it is easy to forget the tremendous impact one person can have on their community, their school, and their work. Through this journey, you have proven that you're capable of changing, and change is the only constant in life. You have now the knowledge and the skills to be this change agent wherever you might be. Therefore, I want to challenge you to face life barriers, knowing that you are adaptable and you have the cognitive flexibility to succeed. Class of 2022, we will continue to overcome obstacles as long as we see opportunities where others see barriers. In the word of William Ernest Henley, it matters not how straight the gate, how charged with punishment the scroll. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. Congratulations.
Thank you, Ms. Santander, and congratulations. Ladies and gentlemen, our second student speaker, Ms. Kayla Vieira, is graduating today with a Master of Education from the School of Psychology and Counseling. At this time, please help me welcome Ms. Vieira to the podium to offer her graduate reflections.
Good afternoon, members of the Board of the Trustees, President Deborah Jackson, staff, faculty, family, friends, and fellow graduates. It's an honor and a great responsibility to be chosen as one of the speakers for this ceremony. Not even in my wildest dream, I could imagine that one day I would have the opportunity to experience college in the United States. When I thought about I could say that we encapsulate what this milestone means, I found myself thinking about cliches. The future awaits, or we did it. After all, at times like this, we often turn our eyes to the future. As essential it is to have goals and plans, I would like to invite you to take your eyes off the future for a moment and turn them back to the past. Today, as we celebrate the completion of this significant step of our lives, would you be able to remember how this journey began? For me, it was 2019. After spending the entire summer reading and rereading Cambridge College website, I decided to start the application process for my master's degree. I decided to start in that moment what I call two-year plan. And I had to remind myself about this plan many times I couldn't be here today. Every time I heard, "You're just an immigrant, a newcomer, an English learner," that I was breathing and answered, "You know, I have this two-year plan." Or, "It's impossible, you have 2 jobs and family." Here I go again, "But I have this plan." "Oh, but we're in the middle of the pandemic." You know, 2 years plan. The 2-year plan became my mantra. If I found myself lacking strength or energy, or if I was overwhelmed by the responsibilities, all I have to do was focus in a countdown. Perhaps it was the counselor in me, always seeing infinite possibilities for growth during crisis, but I found comfort going back to school. Cambridge College, with a strong emphasis on helping students to achieve mental well-being, gave me back that feeling of belonging and excitement about being a student. I came here because it was a place that not only accepts cultural and language diversity, but it also values the experience of an immigrant could offer. My strong motivation and goals were a good match for what Cambridge College looked in their students. I was not just a newcomer, an immigrant, an English learner. Here, I was all of that. I was my entire story. I was just me. I was just me with each staff and professor who showed me empathy and respect. Just me with each colleague who could share stories and celebrate victories. And now, coming back to the trip from the past, I found myself living this day that once belonged to the future of my 2-year plan. Today, we celebrate together the reunion of 3 periods of time: past, present, and future. The journey of the past, the joy of the present, and the hope for the future. Isn't that wonderful? I can't help but think, if we can accomplish such great things in just 2 pandemic years, what else we can do in the next 2? And the next 5? What else we can do if now we create another plan? All the cliches seem appropriate now. We did it. Congratulations, Cambridge College graduates.
Thank you, Ms. Vieira, and congratulations. Ladies and gentlemen, here to sing our next musical selection, America the Beautiful, the incomparable Miss Athene Wilson.
Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountains' majesty above the fruited plain. Oh, America, America, God shed His grace on thee and crowned thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea. Oh, beautiful for patriots' dreams that sees beyond the years. Thy alabaster cities gleam, undimmed by human tears. America, America, God shed His grace on thee and crowned thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea. Oh, shining sea. Oh, shining sea. Yeah, shining sea. Ooh. Thank you.
Thank you, Athene. It is now my honor and privilege to welcome to the podium the chairwoman of the Cambridge College Board of Trustees, Ms. Susan Eiffel, to preside over the conferral of our honorary degrees.
Good afternoon. My name is Susan Eiffel, and I am the proud chairwoman of the Board of Trustees of your college. I am honored to call upon President Deborah Jackson to now come forward and preside with me over the conferral of the honorary doctorate degrees. I now invite United States Attorney for the District of Massachusetts, Rachel Rollins, to join me at the podium. President Jackson, the Commonwealth of Massachusetts has authorized Cambridge College to confer honorary degrees. By that authority and the authority of the Board of Trustees, I have the privilege to instruct you to confer the following honorary degree upon Ms. Rachel Rollins for her singular achievements. Rachel S. Rollins is the United States Attorney for the District of Massachusetts. Nominated by President Joseph R. Biden and confirmed by the United States Senate in 2021, Ms. Rollins is the Chief Federal Law Enforcement Officer for the District of Massachusetts and the first Black woman to hold the position. Ms. Rollins has broken through the proverbial glass ceiling more than once. Prior to her confirmation, Ms. Rollins served as Suffolk County District Attorney for 3 years. She was the first woman to ever be elected DA in Suffolk County and the first woman of color to ever hold the position of District Attorney in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. Ms. Rollins previously served as Chief Legal Counsel to the Massachusetts Port Authority, General Counsel for the Massachusetts Department of Transportation, and the Massachusetts Bay Transportation Authority. The Honorable Rachel Rollins earned her Juris Doctorate from Northeastern University School of Law and a Master's in Law from Georgetown University Law Center. She also holds a Bachelor of Arts degree in Education and African American Studies from the University of Massachusetts Amherst. Please give a warm welcome to the Honorable Rachel Rollins.
Acting on the authority of the Board of Trustees and the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, I am pleased to confer upon Ms. Rachel Rollins the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, admitting her to all of its rights and privileges, in token of which we present you with this diploma and this hood. Here is the diploma. So we take a picture. Thank you.
I now call upon Ms. Gladys Vega. Please join me. President Jackson, the Commonwealth of Massachusetts has authorized Cambridge College to confer honorary degrees. By that authority and the authority of the Board of Trustees, I have the privilege to instruct you to confer the following honorary degree upon Ms. Gladys Vega for her singular achievements. Ms. Gladys Vega joined the LA Collaborativa, formerly the Chelsea Collaborative, in 1990 and became executive director in 2006. She has worked as an organizer and an advocate to ensure that the Latino community has a role in determining the ways it needs and concerns are addressed. Gladys is the architect of most of the LA Collaborativa community coalitions and has played leadership roles in organizing for immigrant rights, tenants' rights, welfare rights, open space, and the environment. multicultural and anti-racism programs, and in numerous grassroots campaigns. Such a slacker. Her bold and tireless leadership has resulted in expanded rights for immigrants, low-income families, tenants, workers, youths, and people of color across the Commonwealth. Like other gateway cities in Massachusetts, Chelsea was disproportionately impacted by COVID-19 and quickly became the epicenter of the pandemic in Massachusetts. Gladys and her team quickly sprang into action to ensure equitable and inclusive access to testing, vaccines, food, and community education, their model for community health distribution through leadership, innovation, outreach, and community participation transformed Chelsea from having among the highest COVID-19 transmission rates to having one of the highest vaccination rates in the state. Ms. Vega's work has been widely recognized and commended. In 2021, Eastern Bank honored her with their Social Justice Award for her outstanding impact in addressing critical social justice issues in Chelsea. And the Boston Globe selected Ms. Vega as one of the 2020 Bostonians of the Year. Please give a warm welcome to Ms. Gladys Vega.
Acting on the authority of the Board of Trustees and the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, I am pleased to confer upon you, Dr. Vega, the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, admitting you to all of its rights and privileges, in token of which we present you with this diploma and invest you with this hood. Congratulations, Gladys.
That was exhausting. That means the best is yet to come. That was fantastic. I now call upon General Darren McDew to please join me. President Jackson, the Commonwealth of Massachusetts has authorized Cambridge College to confer honorary degrees. By that authority and the authority of the Board of Trustees, I have the privilege to instruct you to confer the following honorary degree to General Darren McDew for his singular achievements. Mr. Darren McDew is a retired United States Air Force general. McDew served with distinction in our United States military for 36 years. Throughout his career, he had the opportunity to lead at all echelons, culminating as the 12th Commander of the United States Transportation Command as a unified combatant command comprised of all the armed services. He served as the senior uniformed officer responsible for global air, land, and sea transportation and patient movement for the Department of Defense. General McDew was commissioned as an Air Force officer in 1982. His journey began as a pilot and continued through multiple operational leadership roles and unique assignments at the White House: military aide to the President, the Pentagon, Director of Air Force Public Affairs and Vice Director for Strategic Plans and Policy for the Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, and on Capitol Hill, Chief of Air Force Senate Liaison. General McDew is a 2021 Institute for Defense and Business Fellow, and also serves on the boards of directors of Abbott Laboratories, USAA, Parsons Corporation, Rolls-Royce of North America, my new best friend, and as a member of the Board of Governors of the Boys and Girls Club of America, of which he is also a member of the Alumni Hall of Fame. General McDew received his Bachelor of Science, Civil Engineering from Virginia Military Institute, his Master of Science, Aviation Management from Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University, and he was awarded an honorary Doctor of Public Administration, Massachusetts Maritime Academy. Please give a warm welcome to General Darren McDew.
Acting on the authority of the Board of Trustees and the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, I am pleased to confer upon you, General Darren McDew, the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, admitting you to all of its rights and privileges, in token of which we present you this diploma and invest you with this hood. Congratulations. I don't know if it's Dr. General or General Doctor, but Darren McDew. Thank you. It is my honor now to present to you once again our speaker for today's occasion. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me once again in welcoming General Darren McDew.
I'm going to apologize right up front for a couple things. And it's not anyone's fault because Cambridge College doesn't have much experience with four-star generals. I would probably say zero experience with four-star generals. With that, they don't know that I have no time limit. And they didn't give me a time limit, but because I respect you, I will give myself a time limit. So instead of the normal 2 to 3 hours I would take in front of a crowd like this, I'll cut it down to about an hour, hour and a half. It'll be fine. I am humbled, but let me begin with this before I go too far. And I'm looking at you, and I'm pausing and looking each of you in the eyes when I say the following words. I admire you. I envy you. I'm very proud of you. Our nation and the world need you. You are the leaders we've been waiting for. And I say that with all sincerity. I pause to make eye contact with every single one of you, and hopefully you feel the passion coming from me. Good afternoon, Cambridge College. Thank you for that generous introduction. Your hospitality has been tremendous. A special thanks to Jackie Conrad and Robin Carroll, because, again, they had no experience with four-star generals, especially retired ones. Before, I had a staff, and they would be very helpful. Now they had to deal directly with me, and I'm sorry. I'm very needy, I'm sorry. President Jackson, you are indeed a gem, and this college should understand how blessed you are to have her. Thank you for sticking with me these last couple years to get me here. I appreciate it. I admire your vision, not only for Cambridge College, but for all of education. She is a pioneer. You will see that in the years to come. To our chair, Susan Eiffel, and the trustees, thank you for all you do to enable life-altering events for these families. I can't believe that you allowed me to join the Honorable Rachel Rollins and Superwoman herself, Gladys Vega, as an honorary degree recipient, thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, friends and family, faculty and graduates, we're kindred spirits. If you did math, you know that 40 years ago I sat where you're sitting. It seems like 100, but it was only 40. I look like 150, but it was only 40. These last few years have brought us closer together in the things that we've experienced as well. You've heard some earlier. We've all had loss. We've lost loved ones. We've lost connection. We've lost special events. Some have lost businesses and homes, and health has suffered. There have been tougher times in our U.S. and our world history, but a polarized electorate, moving to the sound of their own echo chambers, racial strife, COVID, inflation, food insecurities, and mass shootings. Not many alive today have this kind of precedent in their lifetime. These are, in fact, the challenges of our time. A New York Times theater critic put it this way some years ago, about 100 actually. This nation was built by those who took risks, pioneers who were not afraid of failure, scientists who were not afraid of the truth, thinkers who were not afraid of progress, dreamers who were not afraid of action. And I highlight for you those pioneers, those scientists, those thinkers, and those dreamers who were not afraid. We have been waiting for you. You've already proven what W.E.B. Du Bois said, and I paraphrase, you are already willing to risk what you are for what you might become. Along your journey, please keep that in mind. Now, I've been freaking out about this presentation. And I typically freak out, but I freaked out even more when I was sitting there and I heard the student presenters. Were they not phenomenal? If I ever get the privilege to do this anywhere else again, and I doubt it, I'm going to ask for student presenters that suck. So it's just too much pressure. It really, really is. But the other reason that I get very nervous when I give a presentation like this one is because I care. I care about you. I care about your future. I care about your kids and your grandkids. I could talk all day, but I won't. Please know that I really, really could. So if you give me just a minute or two, I'm going to give you a couple things that might be useful for you, for those one or two people in the crowd that might actually remember anything that happened today. And these are principles that I've held dear for a long time. You have tools, you have knowledge, you have friends and families to support you, but what are you going to do? Who are you? The first thing I think is important to know is who you are and understand, more importantly, who you're not. Who am I? I'm the oldest of 4 boys born into a military family. I'm a 1960 vintage American who happened to be black, and if you know anything about that decade, it was not all that fun sometimes. I experienced segregation 3 times in my life. I was an introvert and a shy kid, and I experienced a lot through reading books, which would be my salvation over time. I consider myself a person of integrity. I was raised to be respectful. I'm expected to treat others as if how I want them to treat me, even when they fall short of the mark. I was taught to work hard, be a great teammate, and be what my family, my community, and my country needed. Therefore, in 1982, I got a degree and I took an oath of office, one that simply states that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office upon which I was about to enter. 40 years later, it's still committed to memory because 40 years ago, I made a commitment to not just that oath, but to the American public. That commitment said that I would be better tomorrow than I am today, every day. Not when it was convenient, not when I felt like it, but every single day. You can't ask more of yourself than to do that. And I try to live by that oath now. I got a chance to be a pilot in the world's best military, to work at the White House, the US Senate, but most importantly, I was a commander 10 different times of hundreds of thousands of people and their families. I care about all of them, and I care about you. So here are a couple things to remember. Failure is okay, but still be bold. I've been fired twice. You can't make more mistakes than I have. Give it a try if you want. I promise you, you cannot make more mistakes. But here's the difference. I own mine. I confess when I've erred, and I don't try to cover it up. I study other people's failures so that I don't make the ones that are already documented. I make new, innovative mistakes. I'm trying something new, and if I mess up there, it's okay. But I don't think you're trying hard enough if you're making somebody else's mistakes. And just think, you never get a big job because of what you know. It's about how fast you can learn and adapt. So don't be afraid to fail. Step out boldly in whatever you're trying to do. Second, don't ignore people. We all have value. No matter how senior you get, everyone has value. Everyone should be heard. Stop and listen. A promise made is a promise kept. If conditions changed on something you give your word on, renegotiate the terms. Don't let it slide. It is your reputation for trustworthiness. And here's the last point of the three. Treat people with dignity and respect. And don't be a bystander. I have been bullied. I have felt alone. Someone has always stepped in. Don't be a bystander. Stand up and say something. You can make all the difference in the world to somebody. As I said, 40 years ago, I started my professional journey sitting where you are, waiting for the guy standing right here to sit down and shut up. But think about my journey. From student to pilot, an officer, a 4-star, to the boardroom. I'm convinced of many of you will follow a similar path and do greater things. Here are some words from Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. We can choose either to walk the high road of human brotherhood or to tread the low road of man's inhumanity to man. History has thrust upon our generation an indescribably important destiny. That was as true in 1959 when he said it as it is today in 2022, unfortunately. You are the leaders that we've been waiting for. I admire you, I envy you, I trust you, I'm extremely proud of you. Congratulations and thank you.
Congratulations and thank you, General. At this time, it is my distinct privilege to call forward President Deborah Jackson, Associate Provost Dr. Tracy McLaughlin, and the Dean of the School of Education, Dr. Mary Garrity.
I need your formulary. Thank you. Is your mic working, Tracy?
Hello? Madam President,
Dr. McLaughlin.
I'm pleased to report to you that the candidates here assembled have qualified in all respects for degrees by successfully completing curricula conferred by Cambridge College and have been recommended by the faculty to be awarded the appropriate degrees in recognition of their academic accomplishments. The degree candidates will be presented to you by degree program and school. May I remind all graduates to please return to their seats after receiving their degrees.
Madam President, it is my pleasure to present as the Dean of the School of Education the candidates for the doctoral program in Education Leadership from the School of Education. Would the candidates for the doctoral degree in Education Leadership please rise? Thank you. Upon the recommendation of the doctoral faculty, I present to you the candidates for the doctoral degree in Education Leadership from the School of Education. Candidates, please come forward.
Lorraine Ruth McFadden. Elaine Nevers Williams.
By the power vested in me by the Board of Trustees of Cambridge College, it is my privilege to confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Education in Educational Leadership with all of the rights, privileges, and honors appertaining thereunto. Congratulations.
Madam President, it is my pleasure to present, as the Dean of Cambridge College Global, the candidates for the Doctor of Business Administration in Quality Systems and Improvement Management from Cambridge College Global. Upon the recommendation of the doctoral faculty, I present to you the candidates for the Doctor of Business Administration degree in Quality Systems and Improvement Management from Cambridge College Global. Candidates, please come forward. Felicia J. Kelso. Jeffrey August.
By the power a little wind. By the power vested in me, by the Board of Trustees of Cambridge College, it is my privilege to confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Business Administration and Quality Systems and Improvement Management, with all of the rights, privileges, and honors appertaining thereunto. Candidates, congratulations. Tracy?
Madam President,
Dr. McLaughlin.
I now present to you the candidates from the School of Education, School of Psychology and Counseling, School of Management, and Cambridge College Global for the following degrees: Certificate of Advanced Graduate Studies in Educational Leadership, Certificate of Advanced Graduate Studies in Psychology and Counseling, Master of Education, Master of Management, Master of Business Administration, Master of Science. Will all the candidates please rise? Upon the recommendation of the faculty, it is my pleasure to present to you the candidates for the aforementioned degrees.
Ask for the candidates to please remain standing. We have a special tribute to our candidates, and I believe it's going to occur now. And is Miss Athene Wilson here? I don't see her. By the power vested in me by the Board of Trustees of Cambridge College, it is my privilege to confer upon you the following degrees from the School of Education, School of Psychology and Counseling, School of Management, and Cambridge College Global for the following degrees: Certificate of Advanced Graduate Studies in Educational Leadership, Certificate of Advanced Graduate Studies in Psychology and Counseling, Master of Education, Master of Management, Master of Business Administration, and Master of Science, with all of the rights, privileges, and honors appertaining thereunto. Graduates, you may now come forward.
Deborah A. Chambers. Deborah. Martine Gwillette Maxwell. Ryan E. Adessa. Raul Alacon Plasencia. Ashley Monique Riebling. Antonia Lynn Ordman. Carrie Richards. Natalia Baez Rivera. Maria E. Krafisik. Andrea Bay Kramer. Chitachi Ada Okyek Ware. Linda L. Anderson. Patricia A. McDonough. Lisa M. Slattery. Sherry Ann Ferlat. Kimberly Michelle Williamson. Leila Shegui. Angela M. Francis. Nela Vadinova Arnavdova. Natalie Mitchell. Kayla Stoffo Malakias Vieira. Clifford Mengual. Martha Rachel Dolan. Michelle Curran Mason. Silvana Dinka. Brandy Higginbottom. Michelle Faith Higginbottom. Tara Jane Rochefort. Amanda Granfield. Terrell Emmanuel Mitchell. Isaiah E. Wallace. Malisa Ann Ellis. Beverly Joyce Key. Talia Siobhan Ray. Michelle Lynn Callahan. Tiffany Nicole Robinson. Samuel Jerkowski. Emily Cooper. Christina Marie Sergi. Christopher William Donnellan. Jesse Ben-Qasimi. Sarah Manning. Shaquel Monique Tolson. Stephanie Bellaris. Daphne Rose Charvray. Salinas Rodriguez. Anita Emma Rice. Michael A. Flores. Haresh M. Lashandon E. Simone Silva Cirilli. Tatiana Pons Barros. Eric William Griffith. Sarah Elizabeth Mitri. Catherine Evelyn Mitri. Matthew D. Restivo. Umar June Douglas. Erin Robinson. Jennifer Isabel Teixeira. John Shabelli. Kaylee Millette. Carmen Araceli Quere. Ali Gusay Bien. Grace Mary Frigo. Kayla Gomes. Whitney Zila. Lauren Michelle Hurt. Ana Carolina del Castillo Valencia. Alexis Elizabeth Bonavita. Bianca Cristel Osorio Berun. Lysandra Peguero. Kayla Foscara Ta. Joshua Hunter Kortik. Megan Lee D'Angelo. Clarissa James. Jarita D. Cashwell. Melissa Afit. Casey Yumia Claremont. Nadali Alexandra Bonhair. Sawatri Jang Payun. James Meshek Duchet. Lori Watzel Crin. Jessica Burke. Megan K. Calpin. Nancy Shalamurovich Cherkich. Natasha Marie Anderson. Tani Christine Pech Rugaro. Kathleen Harris. Renee Lynn Payne. Sarah Bott Lee. Jennifer Manchester Roach A. Maretta Olivia Dyer. Nashima Rodriguez Sanchez. Carrie M. Rivera Torres. Thalmi Reyes Diaz. Elisa M. Torres Rodriguez. Angela M. Garcia Munoz. Lysandra Odeth Carrasquillo Rodriguez. Carlos Rafael Morales Earthman. Lucy Grace. Alicia Tynan Tynan. Stephanie G. Hudson. Marubeni Leslinette Soto. Emily Mahoney Murko. Tyler William Swanberg. Angela Latisha Isaac. Kayla M. Soto. Mary Elizabeth Nichols. Brian J. McKenna. Abraham St. Croix. Megan Ann McDonald. Jeremy R. Sayers. Esteban Domingo Gomez. Alberto Ovidio Abreu. Musuba Samati. Lidiana Curvo Cartolano. Haley Brianna Hunt. Kelly Ann Desjardins. Shantae Evelyn Raboin. Ashantin Faniff. Cheryl Ann Flanders. Gladys Maria Alvarez. Well, Taylor Williams. Carolyn Schatzel. Shamika R. Dickinson. Sandra Knight. Deanne Claire Ferguson. Julie Ann Bertocchi. Kelsey Ann Biondo. Rosalba D. Condé. Mardochi Constant. Terrence Kennedy Colbert. Kayla Lanae Clifton. Sonia N. Solas. Darlene Adela Ferguson. Sasha Monique Worthy. Patrick Harlington Williams. Julia Brouillard. Adelina Nicole Barbosa Alves. Antoinette Rose. Tamara Spiltaldo Viana. Ashley Erin Mello. Denise Renee Haskins. Jeanette Liberato. Sandra L. Bray. Okay. Bernice Jadine Brody. George E. Gifford IV. Brendan Colin Fitzgerald.
Fidel Monteiro dos Reis Diaz Tavares, and we have a special award being presented by his father, an 82-year-old freedom fighter from Cape Verde.
Sylvia Resendez Rocha Traves. John P. Travis. Patrick Michael Travis. Laura J. Richardson. Yocasta and Alina Bernabel. Elizabeth Ann Ramos. Norma Elizabeth Colom Castillo. Nadije Bosquet. Anne-Marie Gilbert. Tara L. Myers. Erin Patricia Mansfield. Megan Marie Pacheco. Sarah Grace West. Carlene Fernandez. Shannon Dorothy Evans. Brittany Solenas. Cameroon Samja Rome. Jillian M. Lewis. Alcindo M. Fontes. Jessica A. Ginor. Ebony Lee Nicole Edwards. Sheikah Pritchard. Kia Lewindon Williams. Christina Bernardi. Benita Brown. Marielis Caban. Haley Ann Arsenault. Jason Michael Cronellis. Robert J. Sansone. Maria Isabel Gomez. Linda L. Rivera Alcea. Kailamar Sanchez Clavel. Dariana Giselle Hernandez Torres. Betseda Villejas Echequivera. Claribel Garcia. Maria Gillette Rosa Alejandro. Yvette Stephanie Riles. Priscilla Ruiz. Joanna A. Diaz Cruz. Richard M. Delgado Estrella. Beatrice Bosvert. Beatrice. Tiana Benton. Say that again.
This is a mother and daughter team crossing.
Can I say something? Should I say something? This is a very special moment for this family. It's mother and daughter Bronte M. Lambert. Alessandra Peche Davinia Risa. Valentina Romero Segovia. Monique Carter.
Zainab Alkan. Laura Kopel. Arjor Leah Miles. Andrea Salazar Centeno. Bianca S. Laverity. Abdel Rahman Mahar Khalil. Sam Gonimi. Ahmed Gonimi. Alex Felix Abahu. Pooja Singh. Bibish K. Mayambo. Faith Exil. Flarida Florian. William Volsimus. Pierre Villens Orchel. Ronald Sandville. Maria Elvira Otero Espinel. Maria Ina Dabreu Souza. Salma Selim.
Did she just walk?
Sumun Rani. Olga Syryachenko. Janeris Rodriguez. Alex Morlabel. Kevin Michael Walsh. Lucas Alves Teixeira. Sean A. Barrett. Jessica Burgos. Carla R. Joseph Adelaide. Hermes Ivan Roque Salazar. Domingo Centillo Fernandez. Muna Tamrakar. Joanne St. Hilaire. Jorge Patino. Emperor Prat Sukakun. Anna L. Himinian. Vivian Rogers. Karen Judy Furtado. Joshua Perez. Kyle Augusto Ferreira. Mesut Kochak. Shala Saral. Mustafa Yildiz. Rowan Nimer Fauzi Al Sayed. Naomi Raymond. Chantel Jordan. Tori Wainwright. Perfect.
Miralvin Allahyarli.
Miralvin
Allahyarli.
Allahyarli. Mirelvin Allahyarli. Mikhail Kilik. Lutfi Ser Servet Axel. Özge Buyukduman. Yerkebulan Kapazov. Lady Alejandra Contreras Borda. Janita Gonzalez. James O. Amadin. Let's keep going. Lineka Hubbard Wilkinson. Patrick R. Sullivan. Anna Yvette Matute. Linda Ruth Christensen. Jamie Ellis Scott. Barbeth Masinat Samius.
Madam President, before I present the graduates from the School of Undergraduate Studies, Ms. Athene Wilson has a very special tribute to all of our graduates. Ms. Athene Wilson.
Check, check, check. All right. Congratulations. Class of 22. This is for you. Have you ever reached the rainbow's end? Did you find your pot of gold? Ever catch a shooting star? Tell me, how high did you soar? Ever felt like you were dreaming, just to find that you're awake, and the magic that surrounds you lifts you up and takes you on your way? I can see it in the stars across the sky. Dreamt 100,000 dreams before I finally realized. You see, I went And finally, yeah, I believe. Mr. David Fuller.
When you look out in the distance, you see it was never that far. Oh no, heaven knows your existence and leads you to be everything you are. Oh, there's a time for every soul to fly in the eyes of every child. It's the hope, the love that saves the world. And oh, we should never, never die. Across the sky. Dream the dreams before finally realize.
You see, I waited all
my life
for this moment to arrive. And finally, yeah, I believe in the possible. If I deep into my heart, overcome any obstacle,
won't let this street fall apart.
Let's try to do my very best.
Shine my light for all to see. Yeah.
'Cause anything is possible if only you believe.
Dreamed 100,000 dreams before, now finally realize. You see, I've waited all my life for this moment to arrive. And finally,
yeah, I believe.
Oh, I believe. Oh, thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, might I remind you, please remain for the conclusion of this ceremony out of respect for everyone who's graduating today. We are now going to present the graduates from the School of Undergraduate Studies. Madam President, it is my pleasure to It is now my pleasure to present the candidates from the School of Undergraduate Studies. For the Bachelor of Arts in Early Education and Care, Bachelor of Arts in Multidisciplinary Studies, Bachelor of Arts in Psychology, Bachelor of Arts in Accounting, Bachelor of Science in Business Administration, Bachelor of Science in Digital Marketing, Bachelor of Science in Healthcare Management, Bachelor of Science in Human Services, Bachelor of Science in Management Studies, Bachelor of Science in Managerial Accounting, Bachelor of Science in Natural and Applied Sciences, Bachelor of Science in Wellness and Health Promotion, and Bachelor of Science in Quality Systems and Improvement Management. Will the candidates please rise? This is my favorite part. President Jackson, upon the recommendation of the faculty, it is my great pleasure to present to you the candidates for the aforementioned degrees.
By the power vested in me by the Board of Trustees of Cambridge College, it is my privilege to confer upon you the following degrees: Bachelor of Arts in Early Education and Care, Bachelor of Arts in Multidisciplinary Studies, Bachelor of Arts in Psychology, Bachelor of Arts of Science in Accounting, Bachelor of Science in Business Administration, Bachelor of Science in Digital Marketing, Bachelor of Science in Healthcare Management, Bachelor of Science in Human Services, Bachelor of Science in Management Studies, Bachelor of Science in Managerial Accounting, Bachelor of Science in Natural and Applied Sciences, Bachelor of Science in Wellness and Health Promotion, and Bachelor of Science in Quality Systems and Improvement Management, with all of the rights, privileges, and honors appertaining thereunto. Graduates, please come forward.
Pen Kung Sa Niang. Safaya Sanye Ka. Aster Gaston. Mirta Sandente. Delicia Renee Bell. Lisa Ann Davidson. Charlene Denise Taylor. Andrea LaRae Myers. Robert Vincent Travers Jr. Maria Fabiola Louis Diesla. Ashley Nielsen. Sitora Rachmanova. Flor J. Vega. Ashley Marie Labrie. Mariella R. Januz. Indianara Ribeiro. Janae Renee Kadite. Jose M. Gomes. Morgan Marie DePero. Samantha Remelis. Sharik Morris. Romy Young. Nashali Santana. Denise Arredondo. Jamie Stephanie Dominguez. Yassine Lamar. Edith Colts. Beverly Germaine Oriole. Michelle Shakita Lee. Betsy Poyao. Derek T. Dykens. Leroy D. Gibson. Bernice Brenna Hall. Monique Lashonda Paul. Adepemi Benson. Tamara D. McAdoo. Teresa Brown. Fernando Luis Velasquez. Megan E. Whitney. Brianna Lee Reese. Laura Elizabeth Lopera. Kathleen Alice O'Donnell. And Kerry Germain. Arabelle Diana Younger. Jason Douglas Gilbert. Brandy S. Carter. Le'evi Nunez. Lil D. Carmel Renee. Alicia Orellana. Cara Joy Lizardi. Silva I. Vazian. Jessica S. Bell. Jonathan Tarazona. Colin McDonald. Michelle Nicole Barnes. Deina Adenolfi. Sylvia Gallego. Essa Romulus Berman. Carolyn Marie Lopez. Suhey Roman. Anna Elizabeth Castillo. Elsie Jeanette Herrera. Michelle Lopez. Jamira Gonzalez. Marie Auguste Van Cole. Ashley Nicole Francois. LaRae Robinson. Joanne Stephanie Bartholomew. Jillian Lee Doyle Borden. Teresian Onagero Kimoni. Tamu Christian. Dorothy June. Rosa Marie Salas. Carolyn Ferreira de Oliveira Mendoza. Monica Sharma. Claudia M. Velasquez. Chantal Duval. Madeline Bruno. Madeline Bruno. Maria Marlenia Antoine Frederick. Claire Cella. Olga DeSanto. Rima Maktova. Dahlia Isabel McCausland. Jessica Vasquez Montoya. Yolomba Noela Bangu Madu. Claramar Alicia de Jesus. Yohani Brioso. Shajana Dakal Pudel. Unisha Shrestha. Stephanie M. Santaniello. Nicholas Thomas Fitch. Ali S. Hack. Sandra Michelle Gonzalez. Unique Rodriguez. Nakali Salcedo. Antonia Gomez. Shanae Joseph. Taibu Barry. Tajanea L. Downing. John Dennis Kawezi Mulema. Fazil Shaku Awan. Sarah Ann Romaine. Sandy R. Preval. Michelle E. Lima. Renee Maharjan. Action Nupain. Jasmine Kadiji. Ranju Timilsina. Stavana Lynn Blackman. Stephen Boyd Rose. Ella Villard. Eleni Carasol Caraballo. Tiffany S. Rivera. Vanessa Gonsalves. Timothea Done. Yaritza Janet Morales. Elizabeth Badillo. Karina Gonzalez. Jian Wang. John Edward Janko Jr. Yolamarius Williams. Nicole Margarita Parra. Grace Garcia. Joseph Stephen Catanzano. Claudette A. Palmer. Maria R. Fontelli O.
Susan left.
We done? Michael. I'm sorry, what's wrong?
Mike Marapoti's up.
But why isn't he going to the podium? Can you find out?
There were no associate students.
Okay, then we'll keep going. Then you're James. James. Then we should conclude.
Okay.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, families, and graduates, congratulations to you all. At this time, we ask that you please remain seated as we conclude our commencement exercises with the platform and student recessional. After the stage and graduate seating has cleared, please join us as we celebrate the class of 2022 at the post-commencement reception at the tent at the rear of the pavilion. Thank you and congratulations to you all. She'll lead us out.